Hello boys and girls, and welcome to my preview and predicted lineup for tonight's game against Olympiakos, second leg of the Europa League, chance to get through to the next round. And of course, this is where things start to get a little interesting, and this is where you start to play against some of those sides where they feel more like a Champions League game. I know I'm clinging on a little bit to that Champions League, but yeah, you just want to try and get back in there. But looking at some of those results from the first leg, there's some interesting ties. One of the teams that we were told to watch out for that did drop down from the Champions League is Ajax, and they have to overturn a 2-0 deficit. So you never know. It's important, and we need to go and get through to that next round. Olympiakos, they had a big game on Sunday, top of the table clash against PAOK, and they won that 1-0. So they'll be going into this game full of confidence, buzzing, and they will feel that they can overturn this tie. And believe me, they're no mugs. We saw in certain spells last week out in Greece that they are dangerous, but they don't predominantly travel well. They have already been to London this season. They played Spurs and they were 2-0 up, but they went and fell apart. And I'll tell you something, if we defend like we did in certain parts of the game against Everton tonight, then we could come unstuck. Now, what's important is that we do have that away goal. We kept a clean sheet and everything's great at the moment. But all it takes is one goal for Olympiakos. You know, they go 1-0 up, for example, that away goal's wiped out. And then you're on the back foot, and then it's panic stations, and then it's, you know, we've just got to try and navigate this game. We've got to try and, you know, get our way through it. How will the players fare in terms of their fitness? And, you know, the fact that they were so tired when it came to that final 20 minutes against Everton. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I do think we'll get the job done. I really do think we will get, you know, over the line, and there won't be too many problems. But we do need to be cautious. We do need to be, you know, have our wits about us, because Olympiakos, they're a dangerous side. We all know the Greek league and everything else. It's not anywhere near the levels of the Premier League. And, you know, these are the type of teams that we should be beating. But we've got to be careful. We really, really do need to be careful, because if we don't, like I said, we could come unstuck, but I do think we'll be all right. So anyway, let's go and get into the predicted lineup, because this one will be very, very interesting. Starting off in goal, Leno. And I think it's very evident that Mikel Arteta is going to play Leno in the Europa League. It's that important to us. It's an avenue to get back into the Champions League. So with that said, I think that he's going to go with Leno again, and it's as simple as that. Now, in the defensive area, it's a strange one. I would actually take Hector Bellerin out of the side for tonight. I really, really would. And I would play Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I think that, you know, before Hector took back over against Chelsea, Ainsley was doing nothing wrong. There's clearly something that Arteta doesn't like or sees in training. Maybe that's why. But for this one, I would actually play Maitland-Niles, I would. I think that he's got the energy, the speed and the awareness. And yeah, that's what I would go with for this one. I'll give Hector a break, to be honest. In the centre of defence, now, do we change things up a little bit? I don't think we do, to be honest with you. I'd like to see the new signing in there, but I can't see it, to be quite honest with you. I really can't see it. So I'm actually going to go with Mustafi to start with. I think that he will play this game. But of course, it's going to be an interesting one. As to, you know, if he can keep his performances up, whether he can still consistently do as well as he has been over recent weeks. If he does, I've got no problems with him in there at all. Alongside him, David Luiz, and this is another player that's been performing pretty well lately. Very, very well. And yeah, he's going to be important tonight, especially if we're going to spring the lines and, you know, break those lines, you know, like we did against Everton with his through ball. So David Luiz is who I'm going to have in there. Now, on the left-hand side, we're going to go with Saka. Kolasinac is out injured. Tierney is not back yet. So we're going to have to go with Saka. He looked a little tired in that final 20 minutes, so I think we're going to have to keep an eye on him. I think he'll be all right. He's a young lad, should be fresh. And see if he can add to his assists. Now, in the centre of midfield, decisions. First one, I'm going to go with Lucas Torreira. I'd like to see him back in there, as well as Dani Ceballos has been doing. For this one, I would have Lucas Torreira, and it's a pretty straightforward decision for me. Alongside him, Granit Xhaka, and this has been one of the most improved players under Mikel Arteta. And I have no problems with him in there, and I think that alongside Torreira, that's a very, very good and very strong partnership. Now, in the attacking areas, I think that this is where we may see a few changes. First of all, on the right-hand side, I'd like to see Nicolas Pepe. Didn't start out in Greece, but I'd like him to start out in this game. And I think that he can cause Olympiakos all kinds of problems. So that's what I'm going to go with. In the middle of that three, I'm going to go with Mesut Ozil. And these are the kind of games, the European games, where the pace is maybe a little bit slower than the Premier League, where he can dictate things a little bit more and, you know, have a lot of time on the ball and create a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to go with Mesut Ozil. Now, on the left-hand side of that three, I'm going to go with Martinelli, is what I'm going to go with. I'd like to see him start out there. I don't think he had the best of games out in Greece, but I think he, you know, it's one of those games. It's a one-off, and I'd like to see him again, and I'd like to see him start this game. That's what I'm going to go with anyway. Up front, as the main striker, I'm going to start with Pierre, Emerick, Aubameyang, and simple reason being is that I feel that, you know, he's going to get his break on Monday when we play Portsmouth in the Cup, and I would just like to see him there centrally, down the middle, where he's most threatening. You know, it's unbelievable given how many goals he scored, and he's still not predominantly played in his favoured position. But for tonight's game, I would play Aubameyang there, and that's what I would like to see. So there we go. That is it. That is the preview. That is the predicted lineup. As usual, let me know in the comment section whether you agree or disagree. If you do disagree, what starting 11 would you go with? It's a massive game. I keep pointing this one out because if we get through to that next round, that's one away from the quarterfinals, and then things really start to heat up. If you have a quick look as well at the teams that are still in there, given the first, you know, leg results and what they've got to do tonight, Inter Milan, they're 2-0 up against Ludogorets, and they're playing at home tonight, so you've got to presume that they're going to go through. Club Brugge, Manchester United, 1-1 after the first leg. So you've got to presume that Manchester United will go through, playing that one at Old Trafford. You've got Sporting, they're 3-1 up. You've got CFR Cluj against Sevilla, that's 1-1. Eintracht Frankfurt, who we know all about, 4-1 up against RB Salzburg. Getafe, they're 2-0 up on Ajax, like I was saying earlier on. And, you know, I know this one's, you know, going to be at Ajax, the second leg, but that's a tough one to turn around. No away goal for them either. Celtic, they drew 1-1, and given the fact that they're going back to Celtic Park for the second leg, you've got to presume that they will, you know, should go through. Shakhtar are 2-1 up on Benfica. Benfica do have that away goal, you know, so yeah, Benfica probably go through. Roma, they're 1-0 up on Ghent. Apoel Nicosia, they're 3-0 down to Basel, and the second leg is at Basel, so you've got to presume that one's done and dusted. AZ, they're 1-1 going into their second leg. Bayer Leverkusen, 2-1 up on Porto. Porto do have an away goal though, that could be crucial. Wolfsburg, 2-1 up on Malmo. Malmo do have an away goal though. Wolves, 4-0 up on Espanyol. You've got to presume that they're going through. Rangers, they're already through after their result against Braga last night. And then, of course, you've got Arsenal Olympiakos. So, some big teams in there, man. And you see what I'm saying about it feeling like the Champions League? Massive. Let's go and get our job done, though, man. So, yeah, listen, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button as usual. Smash a like on this video. And yeah, hopefully I'm smiling for the player ratings video, and hopefully we are through to the next round. Hopefully there's no scares. Hopefully they navigate things quite comfortably. But of course, this is Arsenal, and you know they don't do things easy. So until then, I'll see you lot soon. I'm out of here.